I just want to say we're so passionate about classic movies.
We're going to expand the conversation.
You can see the passion that's in this room.
It's thrilling to the core.
Put a new spin on some vintage films.
It's classic movies and more.
Question. Since you brought him up before and you brought him up again, Jerry Lewis, you got to tell us a story.
About Jerry?
Yeah, so give us a cool Jerry Lewis story working with him.
Wow, okay. If you're ever in a dressing room with Jerry, don't turn your back on him because he will put ice cubes down your shirt.
Okay.
I've had that happen a few times.
Oh, really? Carries ice around his pocket.
Yeah, always. No, I've known Jerry since 1981. I still see him when he comes to New York. He's going to be 90 in a few weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Still has it together. I've never known anyone, obviously, that's had the amount of physical issues and life-threatening issues that this guy's dealt with. I mean, he's living now with pulmonary fibrosis, which is, you don't come back from that. That's a permanent debilitating lung issue. Mm-hmm. But he's had it for a decade and he's still going. Jerry was fantastic to work for, and I had nothing but interesting and fun experiences with him. Probably the most surreal moment, it's not really a funny story, but it's surreal. As a kid growing up, I loved Martin and Lewis, and I would always watch their films and see them when they were on TV. And I knew Jerry, but I also had a chance on a few occasions to work for Dean Martin when I was producing at Capitol Records.
Oh, wow.
And around 1985 or so, I had gone to Las Vegas, and they were both appearing at the same time at different hotels. Dean was at the MGM Grand, and Jerry was...
He would say the Megum.
At the Megum, yeah. And Jerry was, I think, at Caesars, either Caesars or the Sahara, I don't remember. Mm. And it was right before the telethon, so this was probably August of that year. And Dean, in his show, mentioned Jerry and said, I love what he does for the kids, and make sure you phone in and help Jerry. And I thought, that was pretty cool for him to do that. They hadn't yet kind of reconciled publicly. And I went to see Jerry the next night, and it was in the dressing room, and his manager, Joe Stabile, he said, "Oh, tell Jerry what Dean said," and I told him the story, and Jerry just got this, very kind of a sad look on his face, and he says, "Boy, I wish he meant it." Mm-hmm. And he walked away. It was at the time, they had that very public reunion in 1976 on the telethon, but this was about 10 years later, and I think Jerry wished that they had become closer. But Dean didn't, he wanted a friendship at a distance. And it really was only until a few years after that, when Dean's son died, that
Dino.
That they really patched things up. Jerry did something very touching. He went to the service, but he stayed in the back. He didn't call attention to the fact that he was there for Dean. Mm-hmm. And when Dean heard about that, he was really touched by it, and that brought them back together for the last few years of Dean's life, and they would talk every few weeks or so, and they kind of renewed their friendship again, very privately. They didn't do it in public. Mm-hmm. Certainly didn't appear anywhere together, but I think with both of them, they really, for the 10 years they were together, they really loved each other, were the best of friends. So the split was hard, It took a long time for both of them to kind of move forward from that.
A lot of raw emotions.
Yeah, very much so. Did I answer your question?
What question?
I don't know, I forgot.